Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, host Imperial Dane, off here to a 2 versus 2 on Crossing in the Woods between Jove, Alastor here fighting for the Soviet Union for the 2nd Tank Corps for the glory of Comrade Stalin, versus Achtachter and Nonstandard fighting for the Wehrmacht, for the Reich, for the Großdeutschland Panzerdivision. And we've got motor, shock rifle, urban defense, shock army and shock motor here for the Soviets. As for their axes, we've got fortifications, Luftwaffe, special operations, lightning war, spearhead, and Jägerarme. So mix of things there. Goodness, MG42 there for Nonstandard. Kugelwagen up here initially for Achtachter. As for the Soviets, we got lots of combat engineers here. For Alastor, he's going for a 4-star there. That's definitely not usually seen versus Jove. We've got conscripts and a special life command as well. Interesting shots fired here. Conscripts quickly getting stopped here by the Kugelwagen. Sturmpanzer is following up here, while the engineers continue to remain suppressed. Clearing them off with speed and vengeance. Quickly wiring off the truck here. Oh, well, the remnants of the truck, to be fair. Troops moving up here. Sandbags up here. Already here. Jove is preparing for a German counterattack. Also wiring off here, preparing defences, not bad. Nothing happened with the truck here. Grenadiers MG42 moving westwards, whereas so far Achtachter is focusing on the right hand side of the fuel port there. It's a bit interesting here, the start that Alastor has gone for. It's not necessarily what you'd call very effective when it comes to sort of trying to hold the territory. If you sort of went for the broad, sort of securing a lot of territory, it could work, but on a 2 versus 2 where then sort of things are more focused, I have to sort of consider it a bit more questionable in efficiency. Wiring off here, further wire, but it looks like in this case he's actually setting up 2 munitions cases rather rapidly, which could certainly indicate he might be planning something that involves a lot of munitions, I suppose. I mean, some of the doctrines here, for example, shock army would certainly offer a lot, shock motor a bit, Gart motor might also have a bit there, but interesting, it certainly could also benefit, of course, Jove as well. That's definitely interesting, very interesting, not something you usually see. Not something I necessarily recommend either, not 2 munition caches that are into the game right at the same time, but there you go. The sniper on the way now for Nonstandard. Rather spread out their sort of opening in terms of build order. Right, sorry about that. That was my mother calling. Anyways, got engineer assault here basically breaking down very rapidly again. They're not exactly assault troops. And versus Sturmpioneers and a Kugelwagen, they are rather rapidly falling apart. Meanwhile, on the left-hand side, there's not really much going on. It looks like we got Nonstandard shifting towards the centre here, as we've got Jove now trying to assist Alastor here in his fighting. MG48 and the years from mine was clearly already here. Jove is worried about enemy mines as well. And we got a sniper on the way there for Jove to probably sort of plink away and slowly drain out the Germans. We've got medics there for Alastor, but otherwise there's nothing else really going on there. Just again those 2 munitions cases as he's waiting for something to happen. So far the initial push here of the Reich is succeeding well, pushing into the Soviet forces and lines. Forces here making a smaller push there towards the central cut-off point. In this case, we got Jove there blocking with several conscripts communists attacking in there. Flamethrowers up here should add a bit of a punch, I suppose, if he can get close. Which certainly the Kugelwagen is going to do its best to sort of ensure it's not going to happen any easily. But the left is entirely open here, by the way. Either side could quickly sneak over there and sort of do some harassment. And there you go. First doctrine has been chosen. Alastor has gone for Guards motor. Certainly the Guards infantry could benefit from munitions, sort of good grenades, but also the light machine guns. A bit of a bunched up assault there from the conscripts engineers. There we go. Full on wave here inbound for the right hand side. Kugelwagen Sturmpanzer doing what they can here. Pull back to Russian advance. Engineers quickly getting dropped there though, like sacks of meat. And there you go, 1 gear wiped out. Flamethrower dropped. Sturmpanzer need to fall back. Zurückfallen. Meanwhile, we got Nonstandard holding the centre here, free of communists. More engineers then away from Alastor. Looks like he's just going to wait. You can soon call in the Guards infantry. Sort of deal with that. Just a bit more, there go, troops getting suppressed, they'll have to retreat. Troops pulling back for reinforcements. We got a scout car down the way for Jove, who so far got the stronger force. Whereas Alastor is not feeling too well. So otherwise, no side has, well, no player has chosen the option. Besides Alastor, we got a mechanized up here for Achtachter, flak half-tack on the way. And there we go, Guards infantry inbound. And DP light machine guns already being handed down there to help fight the fascists. And also a few good shots there might help there with the Kugelwagen. And there we go, both so placing up some here, doing a bit of harassment here. Mines could also be good, sort of slowing down any initial German counterattack there. Like to make us company up for Non-Standard, who's rapidly teched on there with his very light tier 1. Taking advantage of the fact that Alastor's early game there was rather weak. Though of course in this case it was intentionally weak. And they go hunting down the Kugelwagen. Scout cutting the way, Guards infantry following up though with lighter losses. I think Yuri's dead. Where did he die? I don't know. And they go flak half-tack, false go to this student Punila. Larger assault there. Guards trying to hit with the false, but they're about to get flanked heavily. The flak half-tack is definitely going to be the larger threat here. Low on health, and force retreat got additional guards from here and more DP light machine being handed. Meanwhile, they're securing here. Again, mines would be good. Here and here, for example, Jove's got plenty of munitions for mines, or even demo charges, which I think would be a good move. Got telemines up over here, by the way, but non-standard. Not bad at all, not bad at all. Thinking ahead there, thinking ahead. Be a lot of pressure there on the right flank, and he's being pushed off. They could very likely get cut down there. And there we go, Toad. Right there, a bit of a struggle. The right hand side seems to be falling into the claws of the Third Reich. And then the second sniper here looks like that Jove is really intent on just basically bleeding manpower on the Germans. We got a half-track there arriving for Non-Standard, the 251, so there'll be a 251 and a 251-17. And showing the 251 half-track, the Mittelschützenpanzerwagen had a lot of variants on it. Ranging from, well, anti-aircraft to mortar half-tracks, anti-tank half-tracks, cannon half-tracks, radio half-tracks, infrared half-tracks. Lots of variants, actually. And even some of those sub-variants had variants to themselves as well. But right here, this engagement's not going out well here for Jove. The light machine gun's basically tearing him apart. Well, tearing his men apart more technically. More barbed wire here. Apparently really intent on deterring the Russians from stealing any kind of vehicle. I'm pretty sure they can't drive away with that truck. The Russians, they'll try anyways. We got some mines going up there. Sniper's here draining away at Non-Standard center forces. Has he actually lost his sniper, by the way? No, he has not. The sniper still breathes. He's not quite there in the sonar operations of the Soviet snipers. Flak half-track pushing up here, opening up there. And the munitions cast is nothing here so far from the Russians to deal with that. Could be a lot of munitions cast already. And Jove's got almost 300 already. He really should have laid down some mines, I feel. Haven't he done that? He might have been able to sort of stop the German advance there. Demo charges would also been good. Field gun arriving. More guys there getting cut down. Slow advance here from Jove, which also gives Non-Standard here more time to actually deal with it. Kuban here holding back the rush. Guards infantry charging forwards there, but again stopped by it. Almost got the flak half track there, but again the munitions counts down. We got field guns coming up as well. Overall, Alastor was seen off here. Got more mines going down here from Achtachter. Immer mehr Minen. Battle group headquarters up. And he's actually gone for a doctrine as well. Now we are seeing special operations. Support Macro up here for Non-Standard. Pretty swift rush there. Only a pack forward in a half track and then quickly moving on. Again, the part also probably helped again due to Alastor initially not being able to press up very well either. And the fact that both that fuel points have largely been German so far. And that's certainly also something hurting the Soviets. So we do see Alastor working here to minimize that with a fuel cache. Russian sort of streaming here and there. No real sort of combined and focused efforts. Just need to secure one fuel point initially. Which is giving the Germans a bit better chance of holding them both at the same time. 251 ready for the fight again. Another field gun here from the Soviets. Nonstandard gaining back the left side. And there you go, guards moving up there, securing the heavy cover and opening up their grenadiers. Well, quick round grenade there, forces them back, but they'll quickly be back in the fight. And there we go, force back the grenadiers there. Loads of fire being laid down on the Fritzes. Push up here. Infiltration assault here would be good. Would certainly also be the cheaper option there for Achtachter. There you go, guards in the assault going off, and there go grenades. Field gun as well supporting. Pack 40 acting a bit of bad position there. Non-standard could lose it to the Russians. And got an MG42 there arriving for non-standard. Apparently he lost the previous one. Pack 40 there taking several hits from the Guards infantry, rapidly advancing. MG42 setting up to blunt. No! Gets away, gets away. Question is what would be gotten there from the support armor corps, whether it be Studs or Panzer Force or Flak Panzers. And there we go, Achtachter joining in the counter-attack towards it, but at the same time he might risk losing it here. Field gun setting up Guards infantry as well. There you go, button up. Almost got it, but looks like he will be able to get away there. Grenades going off, Guards infantry almost wiped out. DP drop, we got the snipers hit, quickly taking off German lives. Which is squad live there if non-standard isn't careful. Looks like they will be able to escape this time around. Right hand side being solidified here into the grasp of Achtachter. Whereas we got now a tank 50% command going up here for Alastor. I suppose in that regard Jove could then consider going for the mechanized armor company, maybe adding a Katyusha or some S-76s later on in S-35. Joe, by the way, yet to choose a doctrine alongside non-standard. Folks, in a bit of trouble. MG4 movement support, we got a bit of pressure here as well, further. Looks like the Russians are now doubling down a bit more there on the west hand side, giving up the east at least for the time being. Not too bad. Might consider some sandbags here as well. So giving them a bit of cover there. Panzerkampfwagen here, and we got more sandbags here. Good, good. Jove is certainly throw over those. There we go. Flak after taking a hit again. Quickly pulling back. Popping smoke as well. Counter-attack from non-standard up the west again, trying to ensure the fuel point there doesn't land in Russian hands for too long. And of course the Russian to ensure that happens. And there you go, Alastor gaining a T-3476. He's also not got a lot of units. Really should consider, I think, some more infantry. Either just some regular conscripts or maybe throw in some more Guards infantry or a heavy mortar. I mean, he's rather leaving Joe to do most of the heavy lifting at the moment. Which overall gives the Germans a bit more there to work with. I mean, if you compare sort of in terms of population, Alastor's definitely behind, and that's something that's a bit dangerous to keep doing for too long. Because it leaves Joe to fit most of the building for a longer period of time. Snipers kind of being pushed away. Joe's snipers definitely doing a good bit of a job there, killing the Fritzes. Achtachter leaving a few forces of the Kuhlwagen here to cover the right flank and the right fuel point. And there we go, Schwere Panzer calls up, and now Achtachter is going pretty heavy on the Obersoldaten. Guards have to be stopped here, they need to get off grenades, and there we go. Plenty of fragmentation grenades there versus the MG42, but not enough, not enough. There we go, Flak half setting up. Can the Guards get it with the anti-tank rifles? Field gun opening up. And there we go, popping smoke, getting away. T-3476 moving in. Probably would have been better actually leading assault on the right flank where there's very little focus and thus very little defense from any armoured assault there. So that could maybe be an idea there for Alastor to consider. And Joe's really floating a lot of munitions. Mines or demo charges should strongly be considered. Or just something doing with it. We got a half-track there following up for Alastor. Possibly an air half-track sort of quickly gun down infantry. We've got more sandbags going down here. Definitely making a good job there. Moving up there, Fox will take up position in this shed. With a Panzerschreck. Small advance here, but again, needs armor support to sort of really break through. And so far, Joe does not seem to be bothering with it. In fact, he's not bothering with the doctrine either. Which begs the question, what is Jove playing at? Another counter-attack here. We've got Oberstein going up. We've got the snipers. We've got the guards infantry. Quick rifle grenade here, clearing out the field guns. Snipers there, close to getting hit as well. Right now would actually be a good time for Jove to consider a light artillery barrage. He's got munitions, sort of really get off a few there. And at the right time, he could probably do some heavy damage here to Germany. In particular up here, up close. A good barrage right now could really leave, I think. Non-standard, short of a few infantry squads, but it doesn't. Oh, there we go. Barrage find off. Except it got cancelled. Damn it. Half-check nearby supporting. Good, good. T-54 spring through here, getting to the Panzer 4. Panzer 4 close, getting wrecked there. Shot bounced though. Damn close though. T-54 almost wrecked. Close but not quite either. If the half-track there hit the AA mount, they could probably torn through those overtime pretty quick, but the guards are in heavy cover that are making short work of them. Going straight for the fuel point there. Alastor could, for example, consider popping both guards infantry into the half-track. But there we go, finally got the AA mount there, the Kraut mower. Second munitions count about to finally fall as well here. The Germans have no intention of laying that stand. Clearly. Also fuel trait there going on for Achtachter. He could consider, by the way, getting some assault rifles there for his Obersoldaten. And there we go, looks like Achtachter smelled what was going on and quickly pulled back before the quad 50 caliber mount there opened up on his men.
Reconnaissance flight ready at your disposal.
And we've got an additional sniper, more counters on the way here for Jove. No Strafniki, for example, and we finally got a Doctrine, in which case he could probably consider cancelling at least one country squad and going for some shock troops. But he's clearly going to aim here for the IS-2. Additional fuel caches up here, sort of make up for things further. Good, good. Still, Alastor is very much the one shot on the unit count, so he really needs to sort of try and make something work with what he's got. Again, he's very much leaving things on the shoulders of Jove at the moment. Forces bringing out there straight into the air half-track and the guardsmen. Forces, they're almost getting wiped out. Half-track pulling back the field gun covering. Panther 4, Pat 40, half-track, everything here going in. Looks like the Germans are launching a larger assault to clear out the west. And there we go, Steel Pioneers wiped out here. Bit of a hit there to Achtachter. Trying to get the anti-tank gun there. A half-track took a hit. Centre being secured. Forces moving into counter-attack. Got plenty of mines. In fact, they're laying up sandbags straight in front of the mine. Good lord. MT4 troop covering as well. Here we got the T-54 he's moving straight into the Obersoldaten. Could in fact clear up the things here. The assault here is floundering a bit. We're actually seeing some heavy losses there inflicted on Non-Standard, who's probably now gone for Jäger armor. I mean, he might go for an elephant. There we go. Command tank on the way there for Achtachter Befehlspanther. And there we go. Panzer 4 coming under command. Troops getting suppressed. Mine went off there, wrecking the cover. There we go. T-56 on the fire. We got coordinated fire, then increasing the damage taken. Nicely done there. Need to get that T-54-76 up there before it's too late. Alastor. Quickly, comrades. Too late. Kaput. So right there, Alastor kind of wasted his tank. Getting another one. No, he could actually begin saving up for the T-45s if he so wanted instead. Looks like so far that it's not Alastor's plan. Command tank falling back for repairs. Panzer pushing up. Immediately, really got a lot of units here bunched up. If the Germans had any artillery right now, that could be absolutely devastating to delay down, for example, rocket barrage of any kind. More field guns on the way for Alastor, not a lot of infantry. He's basically laying it all down here in these two guards in the squad to do most of the work. There goes shots going with the Panzer 4. Incendiary barrages are also available here to Jove in large scale. Again, he's got so much munitions there. I'm surprised he's making no use of it whatsoever. Another push from the north again. The right-hand side seeing barely any action. Again, a quick rush with the T-34-76 would open it up fully, ensuring the German couldn't just focus on the left-hand side. That's definitely something they should consider. There you go. We got machine gun. Oh, assault rifles up there in the Obersoldaten. Dann Piersturmgewehr. And there you go, the A half-track though, saves the day. But we got the command tank moving in. 75mm high velocity gun. Misses though. Infantry getting away. T-34 moving up. Field guns setting up as well. And lots of anti-tank rifles there plinking away on the armour of the Panther, actually giving a bit of damage there. Forcing the command tank trying to pull back pretty swiftly. Half-track in the way. Probably not by its goodwill though. And there we go, a bit of a break for here, but quickly being stalked down by the flak half-track, the Kuhwagen forgotten. Field gun moving up, and there we go. T-3476 went down. Pack 40, not sure why Alastor decided to charge that one in. Still, they actually managed to cut off the fuel here from the Germans, if only briefly. If only briefly. Getting the half-track repaired. German sniper keeping at it still, and there we go. We got the pack wrecked here by rather incessant anti-tank rifle fire there, wrecking the anti-tank gun, and there we go. We've got an elephant tank destroyer out here for Nonstandard. Elephant Schwerer Panzerjäger, an upgraded version of basically the Ferdinand. Mostly the small modifications, the bigger one basically being a machine gun, so it could actually defend itself versus an infantry. A half-track cleared out. You got an IS-2 here from Jove. Opening up the Panther, but we've got the Elephant's arrival. It might be forced to pull back here. Main gun destroyed, but the flag half-track still stands. So that's rubbish luck. Unless, of course, in the Germans, in which case it's pretty damn good luck. Either way, the IS-2 is forced to pull back. Finally calls in an incendiary barrage, but it's versus tanks. That's not going to do them a lot of good. Trying to get the IS-2 there out of there in one piece before the Elephant sends it out of commission there with its high velocity 88mm gun, the same as on the King Tiger, by the way. Mine went off! Telemine! The IS-2 is gone! Dead in the water! Now guys, IS-2 already wrecked!
The enemy has destroyed one of our vehicles.
That telemine definitely paid itself off. And that's also why you're trying to get down some mines throughout a fight. Demo charges there, but that's right next to the cover. That's a bad idea. German armoured forces building up. Alastor rapidly going to and again another T-34-76 so far. He seems to be not bothering with the T-30-45s. You really, I think, should consider aiming for that instead. However, briefly. Mines going down here. But at least the Germans have actually been pushed back here despite everything. They've only got a small piece of the map left, and you get the fuel point here. That will definitely give the Russians a bit of a boost. And Jove is certainly close, maybe to call in another IS-2. We got the A half, they're continuing to lay down a murderous hailstorm. Kuhwagen here, still fighting on though, still fighting on gloriously for Deutschland. And it is time for the mid-game analysis. Counter-trations, the Germans territorially are on the back foot. On the other hand, they got the larger force, they've got more armour, they've probably got something that approximates more infantry as well, or at least more heavily armed infantry. You've got Stukas of Fuß there, by the way, for Achtachter adding in a bit of artillery, that's good. But definitely the armour advantage is German. They've got Panzer IVs, tank destroyers, Panthers, flak half-tracks, Sooner, Stukas of Fuß as well. There's a lot of equipment there to support them. But the Russians do possess several field guns. They got guards infantry, tanks, anti-aircraft guns which can really tear through the infantry. And they've got snipers which also bleed out the infantry. They could also now consider, for example, mining a lot of the map here to sort of basically slow down any German advance. But they can get the fuel point here. That would be really good. And with another fend up, they should also consider getting more tanks, and certainly T-30-45s would, I think, be a good choice there for Alastor. IS-2s will certainly also work out. Of course, again, with all the other armour, I thought might be also to eventually aim for some Su-85s to help deal with those with a bit more long-range fire, though of course the Elephants can sort of deal with that, so it's a bit sort of less clear there what the options are. besides more tanks and sort of trying to properly flank things. But more mines would definitely be good. Try to bait the German tanks into those and then deal with them slightly more leisurely. But if you get the Kulwang then open up the right hand side more as well, that would be a good move there for the Russians. For the Germans, need to sort of break through. They first need to stabilize things here, and they need to sort of try to push through here. An option that would be to consecutively tackle through and then falling into the rear of the Soviets instead of sort of trying to attack them head on. I mean, a good flank can do wonders. So that's definitely something I think the Germans should consider. Also, I suppose one thing CPU Nonstandard could consider is also using his half-track to lay down Regal mines to sort of capture Soviet armor and immobilize it. Otherwise, I mean, right now, what other options are? I mean, for example, Achtachter could consider aiming for the King target. He's got all 3 trucks in the longer term. That could certainly be south, and that could give them quite the punch there versus the Russians as well. But let us return into the fight. Infantry-wise, they're looking pretty good. Just need to be played a bit more sensibly, I suppose. Field gun ready. Sniper sneaking about, like snipers do. There you go. German counterattack there with Sturmgewehrs and MGs, forcing away the conscripts there. Sending both the survivors running, the rest pretty much stay in the water.
Half-track is now available for operations.
There we go, another half-track, another 251. There you go, half-tracking hits here from both field guns, forcing Non-Standard to pull it back in a less than standard manner. And there you go, T-34 surprise here, the Oberstland quickly sending them away. The Sturmgewehrs, well, not really working against a tank. There we go, first barrage here. Likely brought it in to clear out those field guns, which are currently a major impediment to any sort of German advance. 1 crew dead, but others are still alive. Panther forced away again. Kulwang there, could get it. And we go, Kulwang finally bit it. And forces their advantage change to the T-34 and the Guards. A good grenade here would do well, but still, Joe is flooding so many munitions. T-34 so almost went down, but didn't quite. Half-track as well went down there. We actually seen Achtachter taking some nasty losses there. Lost several vehicles then, his infantry certainly also bled out a bit. Meanwhile though, we've got Non-Standard leading a very aggressive assault here through several points. Probably trying to sort of throw back the Soviets a bit, well, catch them a bit off guard. Closing in the T-35 there for Alastor. Half-track close on Veterans E3. But a very bold assault here. Just need to use the Panther 4 to clear up some of those demo charges, I think. Demo charge from north there, didn't do too much. Did not do too much. The Panther 4, they're very close to Veteran G2 as well. Alternating's actually got spotting scopes all on it. And Elephant getting heavily planked there by anti-tank rifles. Orbitals done firing away there with Sturmgewehrs. We've got the field gun. They actually would have hit without any infantry screen there, and that's making an easy target for the Orbitals, and they quickly dispatch the gunners with haste. Another assault there through the centre of Bridge, but it's not really working out there. The Orbitals done quickly repulse it with armoured support. Definitely a few kills there on Jove snipers. But now they have both fuel points, actually gaining plenty of fuel there, plenty of fuel. Jove just needs a bit of manpower. He can call in an additional IS-2 and soon Alastor can call in the T-35s as well. There you go. Orbitals on counter-attack, forcing back the Guards infantry with haste. But there you go, A half-track arriving. And there you go, quickly mowing down Dieter. Stukas are first out. Caught a bit in the trees that were still striking back a bit. Try and break up things here. Didn't quite fully succeed. Guards meanwhile taking heavy counter. They go T-34 flanking in. A half-track should also move in to get us some extra hits. Elephant fires. Close to half health. Left hand side falling in. There we go. The second IS-2 here for Joe. And the T-34-76 went down. Field gun handed up by to the Russians. Map constantly shifting about now, as the Germans here aggressively pushing back. Alastor very much still short on units. He's not really done much to really overcome that. They might certainly help from that with T-3045s. Field gun guards infantry supporting the IS-2 advance. Command tank there forced to fall back. And we got the Elephant moving up. That's going to move straight to the guards infantry, and they could button it up alongside the field gun. There we go, buttoning it up, buttoning it up. Elephant rolling away. Vehicle as well going in there, really intent on getting it. Might actually be able to succeed here. Panther 4, Veterans E2. Needs to cover here. Pack 4 needs to set up as well. Shoot. There we go. Elephant abandoned but not destroyed. I assume might actually fall back here though. Panther 4 getting in the way. And we got the Pack 4 here as well. Guards in moving in. They might try and knock it out there. And there we go. We got an incendiary barrage right next to it. And there we go. Field gun got the killing blow. Guards need to fall back. And an inferno is unleashed upon the German armies. Though with the DP left behind there for the Germans to use. Jove is himself also looking a bit, you know, short on troops. In fact, both players are.
Ready to execute for action. Combat promotion received.
Nice hit there from the IS-2.
We need orders. Guard squad ready.
Russians a bit pushed back there, but still did a bit of damage. Did a bit of damage again. But the Wehrmacht is quick to return the favour.
What do you need?
Very quick. I'm guessing Nonstandard might be aiming at another elephant, I guess. Still some time off from getting another pair of T-35s, and Joe can very soon get another IS-2, which will certainly give a bit more punch there as well.
Standing by. It's time for action.
You got Achter's Oberkommando on the move again.
Yes, comrade. Yes, comrade. Yes. The enemy is encroaching.
T-35, 85's almost there. Joe, some time off there from the IS-2 number 2. Orbis line there pushing ahead. There we also got tracking here. Heavy fire wrecking. We got the Panther arriving. Minor assault going through here. Looks like they're drawing in the changes as well a bit. Overall repulsed. And there we go. The T-35s arrive. A bit more armor here for the Soviet armies. Panther moving in. Veterans E2. And we've got coordinated fire there to increase the damage, taking down the IS-2, but T-35 might get it. Almost down those saves today here, clearing out the field gun, but they might die in the process here to the A half because they actually got pretty close, plus the IS-2's there, and the T-35's there. Panther almost knocked out there. Can they get? We got a field gun no covering it all. T-35 there might be repulsed due to that. And there we go. He's actually pulling back here, pulling back, giving up on a chance of maybe knocking it out. And there we go. The Obersoldaten were wiped out, but the command tank did survive. I imagine Achtachter will find that to be a worth its sacrifice. But the Russians are beginning to struggle again. Joe continues to expend manpower there to quickly replenish his lines. I mean, he's gone for 5 country swords. I think that's a bit excessive. Part of me would think he should have gone for the IS-2 a bit faster, than maybe added Inspirstrafniki with flamethrowers afterwards. Snipers here taking losses. Sandbags going up. The German sniper still added, by the way. Veterans E3, 32 kills, 12 kills on the German machine gun there with Veterans E3 as well.
Combat promotion received.
And there you go. Joe is finally beginning to use his ability to use some of his munitions. Took him long enough. Victory point wise, the Germans do have a lead. And Nonstandard can call in another elephant tank so if he wanted. The elephant mostly seeing action either on the Eastern Front or in Italy. I believe a small unit did see action in Arnhem actually though, around the market garden there. Mostly was the Eastern Front and Italy where they fought. Jove still away from a second IS-2. Alastor getting his own equipment ready before pushing onwards again. And we've got Achtachter preparing here. No. Oh, he's getting against Sturmgewehrs there. The sniper keeps increasing his kill score. Might want to clear out that MD-42 there using this IS-2. That could open up the left again and again, forcing Germans to spread out. Panther moving up. Orbs are done with field gun support. And we got a barrage going in there for field gun, like to try and clear out the enemy field gun. Guards infantry taking massive casualties though. Using the Achtachter there to keep it up though. T-50 from the close destruction, over sign, continue. Undeterred. Panther joining in now. There we go, IS-2 broke through the left. Broke through the left. As opposed to Achtachter might be aiming there for the King Tiger, Königsjäger. Might want to use overdrive there to quickly get that air half track away. Oh no, he might lose it there. Rocket try going in there, getting the field gun in the process. Elephant counter tank towards the left. Conscripts doing what they can here to stall the German advance. You've got tripped by flammens going up there. There's that sniper firing off flares. Panther continuing. Halfway to veterancy free. Conscripts being hit. The MD-42 in a bit of trouble. Panther just keeps at it there, clearly not worried about anything. And all of these three tanks are done in repairs. Jove still some time off from being able to call in another IS-2, while the first ones are waiting repairs. Things are not looking too good here for the Russians. They have lost a lot, and the Germans are pushing forwards pretty aggressively there with increasingly large amounts of veterancy. Quick bit of salvage there. Shooting. Half-track still holding on as well. Bunker there with an MG bunker, it seems. Artillery flares going in. Calling in on the Soviet base, probably a spot for the artillery. We'll get an idea what's coming towards them. Looks like we got a large assault here. Half-track. T-55 is almost ready here to support the IS-2. And then there, the IS-2 is almost ready as well. And there we go. I imagine it's going to be calling some support. There we go. Veterancy 2. Increased range, increased accuracy. Second IS-2 there mobilized. Heavy damage to the IS-2, the field gun and command tank. We've got Achtachter falling back there, and he's very close now to the King Tiger. Very close. Just a few more moments. And the Königsjäger can be summoned forward to the front line. There we go. He's got the resources. Now he just needs to press the button for the Tiger B. And there we go. Folks was almost wiped here by the Guards infantry. 1921 killed. There we go. Rocket strike going. He might try and wipe them. Panther strike left behind as well. That would definitely be something here for the Guards infantry to grab. T-55 supporting in. IS-2 awaiting repairs. And there you go, King Tiger on the right flank collapsing. Another unit wiped out. Another Pantrick dropped here. Achtachters infantry taking terrible casualties. Nonstandard's going to have to sort of deal with that now. He's not got too much infantry either. Another Pantrick hit supplied to the Russians. They lost 2 anti-tank rifles. Now instead they got 2 Panzerschrecks. I'm pretty sure they're quite happy with that trade. In particular since they actually get weapon penetration bonus that they're too. Which means they'll be a bit better. Just a bit better. Command tank machine repairs. If they get the elephant now, that would be good for the Russians. So they definitely need the other IS-2 ready as well. And if you go to then launch an all-out assault there with the IS-2s coming in from here. T-35 from us. Oh no! Regal mines were laid down and the T-35 here got immobilized. Nicely done there by Nonstandard. That would certainly help to make any advance against the elephant a lot more perilous. MG-45 conscript suppressed.
Our opponents are seizing the sector.
And there you go, more T-35s here for Alastor. We might end up looking at a very big armoured engagement. We got, there you go, King Tiger ready. With the second series turret, or series turret as it's known. The one without the shot traps compared to the other one, which actually had, the first one which had a shot trap, which basically meant shots could be deflected into the top of the armour, which was deemed not really good. But there you go, T-35 taking hits here from the Command Panther and the King Tiger, and of course the King Tiger getting the bonuses here. Nice hit down the guards, will be taking out several Russians in one hit. Field gun opening up in the King Tiger. And if you can get veterans to free, that's going to be great. King Tiger advances, IS-2 opens up. T-35 on the command tank. Mark vehicle up here on something. And that is the Königstiger. Though they're not focusing on this, if you can't decide what they want to focus on. Panther, King Tiger taking a fight, T-35 falls away. Rockets are fired from somewhere, and there we go. King Tiger almost knocked out, but we do see the Russians actually falling back. We got Volkers with anti-tank rifles clinking away there at the exposed rears. Not a single lost tank there though for the Russians, but neither for the Germans. Panther 4 now pushing through the centre. Elephant moving up. IS-2 taking heavy hits. Not got well there. But left hand side here secured by fresh Russian advance to get fresh sandbags ultimately laid down to help them defend. Not bad, not bad. Achtachters, King Tiger still needing repairs before it's ready. Command Panther closing in on Veterans E4. IS-2 there almost knocked out. The Elephant is proving to be a bit of a nasty opponent on this battle. Rockets here, leaving a lot of Russians concussed but not dead. Getting that Command Panther repaired. Panzer Grenadier now adding in as well. Panzer Grenadier.
Vehicles can be marked and targeted. Enemy machine gun!
Oops, sniper there still hanging about. 37 kills. And now the King Tiger's on the move. Full vets. There we go. Garson be taking one hell of a hit there. With the help there of the Command Panther, increasing the effectiveness there of the main gun. Field gun wreck though here by the Guardsmen moving up the Panzerschrecks. They actually quickly retreat. T-35 they're shooting through. Incendiary barrage here again. Joe still got tons of munition, he's not really using it.
Forces are securing our territory.
More field guns there for Alastor. Joe could consider saving up for a third IS-2 actually. He could get a third IS-2, in which case he might assemble enough of a sufficient armoured fist to basically break down the Germans. Booby traps going up here, actually booby traps. And that's rare to see back being used for the Oberkommand West, but not bad, not bad.
We need orders. T-34, crew. IS-2 here. Yes, comrade? You need IS-2. Incendiary artillery is now available.
Ooh dear, incendiary around there, taking out most of the conscripts. Leaving them behind, burning horribly. 42 kills now on the sniper. Achtachter, I think, could afford to be a bit more aggressive, then again he probably does much more interest straight in the trap. Looks like Jove is still not bothering with, say, more IS-2s. He seems to be looking a bit delayed there. Out of the way, the assault is going in there. Straight into the line of fire of the elephant, too. Not sure what he's thinking of. There we go, armoured assault. Breaks out. T-35s are trying to break through, but just getting burned up. Mines going off there, immobilizing. IS-2s are fighting versus the Command Panther and the King Tiger. IS-2s are trying to flank. They might have been better at one gone up there behind them. Veteran 24 on the Panther. There you go, IS-2 down, IS-2 down. Down to only one. Almost got it. Field guns firing away. King Tiger almost down though. Needs to be carefully guarding moving up. Panther taking a few hits there. And there we go. Almost got it. But there you go. IS-2 abandoned. Panther got the shot there. Infantry failed. The T-35 is completely wrecked. Nothing left there for Alastor. Oh, he's got one left. The half-track's not really doing much either. Still, Achtachters, Panzers live to fight another day, while Alastor's Guards infantrymen move forward. The 24 points left here for the Russians, not looking good. No, booby trap went off actually, crippling most of the Guards infantry. An easy target here for the Obersoldaten. Easy targets. And there we go. The Soviets surrender. Game over here. Victory for Deutschland, for the Reich. A bit of a tense battle at times, some heavy armoured engagements there by the end, but at the same time, some odd play there from Soviets early on, in particular as I rather feel like it didn't quite work out. He should have mixed in some infantry to just sort of at least exert a bit more pressure in that regard. You know, he, for a longer period of time, left the pressure in Jove, and Jove really sort of couldn't come up from that, because in particular the Germans were good at sort of keeping terrain and pushing and knowing when to push. So there were some problems there which overall, in the longer term, gave the Germans an advantage. Plus their part there, what he could have called in another IS-2 to support his first one, but waited ages to call in a second one, even considering a third one. I mean, in that regard, you know, I think Joe could have had more armor on the field much faster, and he could have pressured the Germans much better with that. So I feel that was a mistake as well, to sort of put it mildly. And a part of me would like to have seen some H-35 or something else, you know, supporting maybe the IS-2s, but there you go. The Germans did pretty well there with mines. That definitely gave them some breathing space there, immobilizing several times T-35s, make good use of infantry. Mines, well, booby traps as well, kept up the pressure quite nicely. Good use of doctrine, or at least decent use there with the King Tiger, Command Panther, all that. Stukas was also a nice choice, and good use of half-track. Elephants even did a bit here, so that's also pretty nice. But overall, they had good map control there. They also had a good mix of armor there, and of course the mines also played quite a role there. So nicely played by them. So I hope you enjoyed this match. I hope you learned something from it. I hope it gave you some ideas for the matches. If you did want to subscribe, tell your friends, share it with everyone. So thank you all for watching, and see you tomorrow. Bye!